Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Natan Vrahovsky, your host with the most. Today, on a very special episode on the Frequency of Abundance group, oh my goodness, we are doing a season one recap. I can't believe it's been a whole season already. And we have gotten through probably close to 24 episodes already. Every single day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's when we're going to be having a Motivational Monday, Winning Wednesday, Fearless Friday. You get the idea. Weekends, I let you sleep in a little bit so that you can have a successful Saturday and a restful, thoughtful relaxation Sunday. More at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern. So that I'm going to be keeping over into the new year. New tradition. We're going to keep it running that way. I like it so far. I'd like to invite you to come join us, speak on stage with us. Join us at the LinkedIn group. Is a free group, The Frequency of Abundance. Literally search The Frequency of Abundance, click on groups, you're there. It's been blown away. We just started this a little while ago, like a couple of weeks literally, and have had hundreds of people join, and it's been incredible. There's also a small paid community. It's tens of dollars a month. It's no big deal. But there you get to go networking, deeper dive, go do some group coaching, trainings. It depends really how far you want to go down that rabbit hole, because I believe the tide raises all boats. So if we're here and if we can help, that's the entire point. Speaking of which, I will put my contact information in the chat. I'll also put a link to that free LinkedIn group so you can come and join us. And that way you'll see everything that we're looking at. So, this is the Frequency of Abundance group. You saw where to go on LinkedIn to get the free group. What we're putting on are these motivational talks, whether they're coming from the heart and coming from that sensory esoteric experience, or whether we're coming on the other side and we're looking at best tips and tricks and practices instead of our best efforts. So whichever side of the spectrum, or both, because we wanted to really round that out. We wanted to make sure, number one, put your questions, any comments in the chat. We want to be interactive with you. If you're feeling the vibe, love, comment, share, put a thumbs up. We appreciate the attention. We think that's beautiful too. Here is your title. We are Season 1 recapping Frequency of Abundance group. So, in the spirit, in the context of everything that we're doing today, now you've got your contact information in the chat. Awesome sauce. My goodness, we're going to have some fun talks. So there's so many different people that we spoke to in those first couple weeks, and so many different talks that we had, from Motivational Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Fearless Fridays, Successful Saturdays, Soaring Sundays. So every day was a completely different, wonderful, wonderful new experience. And in that context, I wanted to make sure that we touched the highlights on several of those amazing episodes. Now, some of the ones that we had before, oh my goodness, you're not even going to be able to believe it. We were able to come from a place where we were looking at, let's start at the beginning. So let's say we're looking at this as a table of contents. And again, I want to wish everybody the happiest of holidays. So I'm not the only one. I brought Christmas Kitty to say hello as well. We both wish you the absolute best. Now, let's take it seriously. So we're starting off the season with the most incredible Sid Anderson and how much exercise that you need to start seeing results. Go to the LinkedIn free community. You can see that episode for yourself. It is fascinating. I can't even highlight it. There's so much specificity. Whew, got through that word. There's just a lot of detail. And it's not something that you want to be general about, or broad strokes, like, yeah, this is this, or this does this, or this is good for that. No, this is very specific. Sid spent a lot of time getting this right. So he wants to make sure that you get it right. Wonderful, wonderful to take a look at that. Next, we'll look at building communities, not client lists. And we talked about different ways in that episode about how you can really get to share, get to feel, and know that if others are going through it, the tide raises all boats. It's an incredible feeling. It really is. And we come from understanding that those that are in this moment, it's a snapshot. It was different 6 months ago, it's different in 6 months. And that is something beautiful that you need to appreciate the journey that you're in and every step of the way, so you can see where you came from and see how far you've come. You can see the progress and the future and that light at the end of the tunnel. It's incredible. And that's part of what makes this a true journey. If we look at estate planning goals and tax-free retirement, that was the wonderful Mr. Bill Walters, an incredible repository of knowledge and information on all things in that financial realm. My goodness. So watch that episode, reach out to Bill, incredible human being. Also on the not just financial resource side, just he has an incredible not-for-profit, perfectly imperfect families.org. And so you get a chance to really mix, really mingle, really see the human side of if you have a special needs family and what that looks like, including on the financial side, and how to prepare and plan for that. Powerful episode. We looked at how to both serve and lead as a servant leader. That was excellent. And it was one of the first ones that we talked about on a Motivational Monday, where we talked about personal growth and mindset. We looked at overcoming procrastination, building resilience, the power of a positive mindset. We looked at goal setting, achievements. We covered a couple cool morning routines for success. We looked at really getting through balance and wellness, and it was beautiful. Next, we popped in and we were talking about really clear levels of managing your stress, right? Both personally and professionally, and different ways that you could identify some of those triggers, ways that you could really see what's going on and why, and different techniques you could use to counter those knee-jerk reactions and those feelings that rise up inside. Wonderful episode. Realigning for next week. One of the powerful Sunday talks that we do to make sure that you are perfectly in alignment and that you're copacetic, and that at that perfect juncture between time and energy, and most people know you can't get more time, but you can get more energy. And realistically, if I gave you all the time in the world but you had no energy, what are you going to do? So I kind of prefer the energy part versus if I had to pick, right? Focus on the energy. And that episode, Realign for next week. Wonderful. We talked about how to create epic conversations. And E is entertaining. So it needs to be something memorable in somebody's eyes. And I like that. Needs to be focusing on the P, personalized. It's not a cookie cutter off the shelf conversation or solution or product or service that you offer. That's too basic. We look at, would it be the letter I? And I is the neat one. It's irrefutable. So if I'm going to have an entertaining talk, on TED Talk, let's say, and then I'm going to make it personalized, which is really impressive to everybody in the audience and everyone watching at home. And then I'm going to go with the I and make it irrefutable. So I'm going to drop some knowledge, add some evidence that is just unshakable, unquestionable. And then I'm going to end on C, which is be clear. So if you're clear, you have irrefutable evidence, you're personalized and bringing it directly to me, and you're entertaining as heck. My goodness, yeah. It's going to move mountains, and that's how you have an epic conversation. Wonderful episode. Now, if from there we go past a little bit into the next week, and we're looking at now creating your ideal avatar. Also a very powerful snapshot episode that I wanted to look at, where we're really going to focus on who do you serve and how do you serve them. So you define the avatar beyond the surface. You relate it to service. So we're highlighting that every great leader, creator, every entrepreneur serves a specific group. The avatar isn't just who you are, but who and how you serve others. So a teacher serves knowledge to students, a designer creates accessible beauty for a niche audience. Look at the importance of audience under who do you serve. Define that target audience. Use those demographics and psychographics and all the shared struggles. Make it personalized. And then how do you serve them? Make sure you have clarity in your delivery and that you have alignment with your skills and passion. You're offering a range of formats and mediums, ways to connect with you, ways to consume your content, online courses, podcasts, books, lives, in-person workshops, you name it. You got to overcome those blocks in your avatar choice. Fear of missing out, right? The FOMO is big, and equally to that is paralysis by analysis, and equal to that is imposter syndrome. And we have a lot to combat. So narrowing your focus doesn't mean you exclude other things. And that's how you counter the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You can start small and refine your avatar over time. Take those small, consistent steps, and that's how you get over the paralysis by analysis. And you really want to make sure that your avatar isn't just a decision. It's a commitment to serve with clarity and purpose. And so that was an incredible episode as well. Powerful, powerful stuff. Now, if you're new and you're just popping in, this is the Frequency of Abundance group. I'm Natan. I am your host. If you don't know my background, I've been an elite energy coach for about 30 years, focusing on Olympians. I started with Cirque du Soleil acrobats, national sports teams, and had about 15,000 people come through my hands in those last 3 decades. Wrote a couple best-selling books on energy management and how to stay in the zone, rock that state of flow so that you can get 2 days worth of work done in one. And when I came on, I wanted to transfer that to make sure that it was something that was available for the coaches, the healers, the specialists, so they could blow a dog whistle to their target audience. If they're looking for C-suite, executives, leaders, founders, owners, we hunt those whales for you. We put on one-of-a-kind events over at Allura Creative Agency, which I'm blessed enough to be the founder. And this is one of the things that Allura Creative Agency sponsors. This incredible series of ongoing talks with the chance for you to come and speak on stage, to get highlighted, with a chance to turn these into courses and to have so much community interplay. That is the ultimate point of how we serve those that serve others. We're not for profit. So in our background, we're not about just the money. We're good. We're here to help others get good. And if we can help you or anyone that you know, please reach out to us. Between the incredible events that we have that we co-host and make sure that you don't introduce yourself or your offer, we do, to the ability to build paid and free communities and to turn these incredible talks into courses and turn them into opportunities to have your ideal avatar come and show up delighted to be with you and to say hello. So, you hear where we're coming from. We're going to ask you, this is the recap, so put your questions, any comments in the chat. And you don't have to write down this ticker tape, don't worry about it. It's in the chat for you, so even though it's scrolling, you can have access to it. So we've done your avatar. It was a wonderful time. We listened to The Secrets of Listening. That was a wonderful guest that we had on there to really get you into how to listen actively and attentively, and then to use that. And it just delights people. It really blows them away. If you're having a talk with somebody, and in the first, let's say, 5 minutes of speaking together, they're speaking 80% of the time. And a nugget that they dropped in the beginning was something that you wanted to stop them about and talk more. Don't. Let their thought come out and develop. Let it go for a walk. But you use that active listening and that active memory and you hold it. Hold it, and then 5, 7, 10 minutes later, you will not believe the power of awe that it'll inspire in the listener. You will not believe the wow that that person will have for you, because they'll be delighted that you listened that intently. So 5, 7, 10 minutes later, you pop it up. Oh, Michael, by the way, I remember you said way back at the beginning of this conversation something about this, and I wanted to ask you about that. And they're going to be like, oh my God, You listen that closely and you remember that long, what I'm saying must be so important to you. And so those secrets of listening are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful moments as well. And that's from the incredible Tim Malone. Now, if we're talking about setting intentions, that was a big one. We're looking at what is an intention, right? Those are the why behind the action. They're not a goal. They're the why are you doing the goal. You're deeply rooted in mindset and values. Your benefits of setting them are clarity, focus, alignment with those values. You want to reflect and use actionable present tense. I am open to opportunities. Great ways to set intention. So, different approaches, common challenges, how to overcome them. Go watch that episode. It's incredible. It's going to make it much easier for you. Even some of the practical exercises. They're going to showcase ways that you can go through. Journaling prompts, role play, guided visualization. Excellent ways to tap into setting intention. And then if we start looking at, let's see. Oh, popping in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. Wonderful, and appreciate you as well. Now, if we're going to pop that in on the overlay, there you go. And so you have access to see us here as well. So we can plan, and we're setting up for 2025. Incredible talks as well. That was where we had, I believe, Kevin Juza as a side host with us. Great guy. Reach out to him as well. And in that context, we were really looking at actionable items and what type of plans to set and how to measure them, how to make them meaningful to you so that it does something. And I really loved it. I thought that was very cool. Great episode for you. Following up is, I believe it was a Saturday, for taking whatever time is needed and trusting yourself and allowing that space needed for you to get to that level of development. I remember we had Sunday's self-care, reflection, and relaxation, and why it's so important to do both. It really, really is. They're different. The relaxation in a place that you can do the reflection, perfect. Setting time aside so you don't get disturbed for reflection or relaxation. Setting time aside so you don't get disturbed for either relaxation or reflection. Brilliant and necessary. And then the next week, start kicking it off with Motivational Mondays again, and we're going fresh starts and bold goals. And it's so different. So different. We looked on coming from Sunday with like self-care rituals and stuff, and all of a sudden on Monday we're like, let's go, and we're going crazy. We got fresh starts, we got bold goals. So on the fresh starts, mindset reset, morning rituals for renewal, decluttering your space. What a difference. When you're setting those bold goals, start with your why. That was back to the intention episode. Break those big goals into bite-sized wins and what that looks like so that you can go systematically, step by step down that process. You want to be specific and measurable, like those SMART goals. Now, overcoming some of those challenges that are inherent within that wonderful experience we call life, you're going to want to focus on the power of visualization. You're going to want to, even more importantly, embrace failure as a feedback. Every failure teaches you something valuable. Look, listen, learn. And get yourself to write down one of those bold ideas and overcome yourself, right? Get through it and focus on what's coming from you. If we go further down the rabbit hole and we start looking at Transformational Tuesdays, changing your mindset, changing your life. Okay. I remember we were talking about the power of perspective, focusing on the growth mindset, the role of gratitude, huge. Gratitude equals abundance, and the role of gratitude in that transformation. We looked at breaking the habit loop, visualizing your higher self. We looked at the butterfly effect, and then some practical affirmations. We tied that into some prompts for journaling for your transformation, and then really reminding that it's not a one-time event. Transformation is a daily commitment to shifting your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. Every small step is a powerful leap because you're moving forward to your best self. That's wonderful. Really is. Now, if we're looking at excuse me, if we're looking at coming through a little bit higher, and so if we get deeper into some of the broadcasts, so let's look at gratitude as a daily practice. We just talked about abundance equals happiness. This would be gratitude as a daily practice. You're going to look at it in an interesting way after this episode. It rewires your brain. Gratitude studies show that you're practicing gratitude regularly. It's going to increase happiness and reduce stress because it's altering your neural pathways. So it's impossible to feel like angry or fearful if you're grateful. Be grateful and it'll squash fear, it'll squash anger. It's a very interesting way to go. Gratitude, like love, it grows when it's shared. It's not finite. And it's beautiful because you'll go through some morning gratitude journals. You'll get a gratitude jar we'll talk about. We'll look at mindful moments. And then some gratitude reflections before sleep. So from the morning to the evening and everything in between. We really wanted to focus on that. And it's a beautiful thing where we're coming from. Then we get into some Thoughtful Thursdays. How do you approach the balance and how do you thrive simply? What a treat, eh? We're coming from when you're arriving and you're achieving that balance. The balance comes from internal, balanced with external. So you may have inner hopes, desires, thoughts, and dreams. You may have outer conditions, situations, and limitations on you, on your time, on everything going through your world. And that's why if you're trying to thrive in that balance, okay. Prioritize what matters. Got to be important because we can't look at everything. You want to set those boundaries to help. You want to make sure everything is embracing simplicity. Having a hard time this morning. And it's lemon water, right? So good luck. Embrace simplicity. Practice the daily gratitude. Move your body. Rest your mind. Tune into that inner compass. And celebrate some of those small wins. It's an incredible episode where you really balance between the inner and the outer. Nourish your connections, find joy in the process. This is your life. You're the star, you're the action, you're the writer, director, producer of your own life movie. It's you. And let go of those shoulds. Release some of those societal pressures. Focus on what feels authentic, what feels fulfilling to you. It's going to be so much more important than anything else that you can think of doing anywhere else. Isn't that wonderful? That all you need to do to focus on it is just give yourself that space and time. Give yourself that awareness. And let yourself know that you're here in the now. And that's all you need. It's not called human knowing or human mastering or human excellence. It's called human being. You kind of win by default just for participating and showing up. You get a little participation pin. Some of us want a little bit more. God bless you. Let's do it. And in that context, I invite you once again, join us at the Frequency of Abundance group. Go to LinkedIn, type the Frequency of Abundance group, click in the chat, click on the link. It's free. There's hundreds that have joined us just now in season 1. It's a beautiful feeling. There's a paid group. It's tens of dollars a month, and we'll do a deep dive. We will help. The community is there. The tide rises all boats. Go back over the last couple dozen of these incredible episodes and we'll be wrapping it up shortly for you. It's so thrilling and so blessings to have you here. You heard about my past. You heard about why we have Allure Creative Agency and who we serve. We also, besides the coaches, healers, therapists, love to play together and strategically partner with other agency owners. So if you know anyone that is there and serves others, we would love to play with them. They white label our events. They co-brand with us because we do one thing and only one thing very well. And we're very niche that way. We don't do everything else. So we don't step on toes. We don't take anyone else's lunch. If you'd love to have that one-on-one conversation, we'd love to explore strategic partnerships with you. What a blessing. So in that space, let's get through a couple more of these incredible episodes that we went through. We're almost done, and it's amazing how much we've come through. Now, we're looking at Fearless Fridays. Week 2 is finishing up, and we're looking at overcoming doubt and embracing confidence. And I like that, because we need to really focus on doubt as a signal. You know, it's not a stop sign. We want to shift the inner dialogue. We want to separate our feelings from facts. We want to remember that action is going to erode that doubt. And when we're embracing the confidence, it's built, it's not born. We're celebrating those small wins. It's a common theme you need to focus on. We're looking at posture, reflects power, stand tall, shoulders back, held head high. And it gives you not just on how you feel, but how others perceive you. And we'll speak our worth. We'll be confident because confident people own their own voice. And they practice articulating ideas without the marbles in the mouth like I was having a little earlier. So don't shy away from sharing your accomplishments. It's a beautiful thing. When we looked, I think, at Successful Saturdays after that, we were focusing on keys to achieving more in less time. What an episode. So starting with mindset for success to do that, productivity hacks that we focused on, how to work smarter and not harder, the difference between energy and focus. We did some very proper goal setting and review. We had some inspirational. And we went through some mindful success practices that gave you some solid, proper, actionable items that you could take home with you. And I thought that was wonderful, so that you could feel that that is built on the foundations from before. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you want to show some love and feel, throw it in the chat. Sunday we went through recharging your soul with simple rituals. What a treat. Monday was dreaming big and acting now. And that's kind of cool, because we're looking at daring to dream, visualizing success, setting big yet authentic goals. On taking action, we were trying to start small, but start today. So important. Done is better than perfect, because you got to stay flexible. And we'll be shifting mindsets from why me to why not me. Looking at fear as a signpost. Very important that your growth is going to happen from there. So some motivational boosters, call to actions, fun, right? And as we're wrapping it up and closing out the end of the season, now we'll take a look at breaking barriers and building bridges on a transformational Tuesday. And so if we're identifying barriers, adopting that growth mindset, taking those small brave steps, and this is big, leverage your community. That's how you help celebrate those wins. And it's not just you dancing around your kitchen. It's genuinely other people who care about you, no matter how small the progress is, and they celebrate it with you. And that is so much more powerful. The tide really raises all boats. When you're building bridges, don't forget empathy is key. You want to start with that common ground. Be vulnerable. Lead with gratitude. And be a build bridger. English. Be a bridge builder. So get into those. Look, afterwards, I think we're getting close now to nourishing a healthy mind and body. That was a Wellness Wednesday, I believe. And so tips that you'd expect, but some that you wouldn't, on mind wellness, practicing daily mindfulness, positive self-talk, digital detox, setting intentions, gratitude journaling, For body wellness tips, hydration being key, moving with joy. Sleep is a superpower. How to nourish yourself wisely. And then how to stretch every day, even a little bit. And then we talked about some mind-body connection tips. Listening to your body, nature therapy, breathing deeply. We talked about the 4-6-6 breathing method. We talked about the 4-7-8. We looked at laughter as medicine and kindness and how it's important, those random acts of kindness. They count. It's a really big deal. We looked then, and I believe it was closing in, taking the leap. It was a Fearless Friday. And it was leaping. He was taking the leap, courage and action on the Fearless Friday. And that was something special. Because if we're always just jumping, rah, 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 it's not really courageous. You know, do you feel any fear? No. Courage is the fear. You know, bravery is that courage in action. So I do contemplate and logically, I'm a human and I'm sane. I do feel the fear, but I'm going to do the action anyway. That's courage. And that's courage in action. That's bravery. If you don't have a fear as a stimuli, you can't use that word. So looking for that and knowing it's a natural part of life, but we want to look at courage as a skill, not a trait. Not born with it. You flex that muscle, it gets stronger. Looking at fear as a compass. Visualizing best case scenarios instead of worst. Building that support system like community. Action and how it breeds confidence. And really getting you to reflect on that. Following the other 5-second rule. That's a practical exercise we talked about with hesitation. So you count backwards from 5 to 1 and then you just do it. It's incredible how it pushes you into action. And then, yesterday, on the very last successful Saturday, we were turning challenges into triumphs. We talked about mindset is key. We looked at how to embrace failure as feedback. Building resilience through action. Supporting yourself with support. Let me try that in English. Surrounding yourself with support. Because it's so supportive, you almost want to say it twice. How to celebrate those small wins and break those challenges into those pieces and celebrate that progress. And really looking at the greater the obstacle, the more glory, in overcoming it. It was a Moliere quote that we did. And I remind you that success isn't about overcoming those challenges. It's about meeting them head on and growing through them. So as today we do the recap for season 1, and I'm so thoughtful and so happy to be here with you. And thank you for your comments, and thank you for your love and your shares. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for going forward. And know that season 2 for the Frequency of Abundance is coming up. We will be starting it off on Wednesday, the 1st of January. And I believe that would be a winning Wednesday. So that's going to be exciting and fun. We're going to come into the new year. We've got incredible guests. If you want to be a guest, if you want to get spotlighted, if you want to be showcased, come reach out to me. If you want us to create incredible events, blow dog whistles, go hunt whales for you, please reach out to me. If you want to join our community and binge watch this over the holidays, starting today from the 22nd of December 2024 all the way to the 1st, we are not producing new episodes for this season. The season's wrapped up and done. We'll be re-streaming them 2 episodes a day every day. So you'll get a chance to see it in the morning, chance to see it in the evening, whenever it possibly serves you. And we'll go through this over the last week, get those episodes done, and you'll be so happy you came. We're probably going to even go through 3 episodes a day. That way in 1 week we can get 21 episodes. That'll be pretty close to the season. So we might sneak in an extra one here or there. But other than that, I want to thank you for being with us. I invite you to bring friends. Next month, we're kicking it up even more so. Facebook, LinkedIn, go straight to the Frequency of Abundance group. Join us, have some fun, reach out to me. And anyone that you know in the holidays that needs a little extra Christmas cheer, little holiday happiness, little Christmaka, little Kwanzaa, wherever you're coming from, whatever you're celebrating, Christmas Kitty's there to say hello. Wishing you all the best and signing off. Happy New Year. Speak soon, everyone. Thanks.